this guy.
Yeah, it's different zoning, this is
It is
industrial.
different. But that's why we're doing a conditional special use permit.
Yep.
I think that you might think about the building permit as well, because they're gonna have something to say. I mean, ventilation, we sort of hinted at,
HVAC.
but yeah, the whole thing, if it's going to have vehicles that are running for any amount of time, so that's not a good place to have dwelling. But that's, again, that's something that they'll have to work out with the building inspector to try to. So if you approve it with that condition, that puts the onus on them to do that, to make it work. And that's why I say if you should be able to review that with the condominium. I don't know if you want to read the whole master deed and all that stuff, but
I don't want to hold the public up on.
It's only 141 pages.
Yeah, we'll pass it
Yeah,
on.
it's not that big a deal.
What you want till you get caught.
Yeah.
I think because of the fact that the site plan is likely to come back again, I think that maybe being initially more conservative and then having those conversations as far as the special use. I mean, if we are approving the special use and we're too broad, then we have to, put that back in the box. That would be my only concern when we get to site plan, right? I mean, obviously, Jeremy, you and I both had the same concern as soon as it was like water and sewer coming into it, that, we're kind of opening a can of worms here that we may not want to open, considering that it's industrial and it's intended to be storage. So just kind of a thought on that.
But I was understanding that's your site plan. Looks good, so that's why I was thinking conditional special use and site plan approval. Well, I'm just gonna throw this motion. Conditional approval for special use permit and site plan. No stays more than 15 overnight stays, no dwellings, no offices, stated in the master HOA deed.
That sounds pretty darn good.
It's kind of a compromise. I mean, it gives him time to polish his super yacht after he collects the check from Michigan Energy.
So will I buy a bigger boat?
So,
you'll forget how to get back to work.
And I'll second that. That would be the point. Yes.
Can you roll call? Well,
yes. Whoever's taking on notes got that, right?
No. I got it.
Roush?
Yes.
Woods, no. Mr. Shane?
No. Oh, yeah, okay.
Right, call Mr.
Yeah,
Shane?
yeah, no, I said no, I thought you heard me,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. I would like to make
Did you?
that motion has been denied.
Oh, I didn't hear you, so he didn't hear me.
I'd like to make a second motion that the approved special use and site plan with provisions and no overnight stays. And that has to be something
I'm so sorry, no. Every rep's lost it. It's not this little thing.
Mr. Woods, can you repeat that motion, please?
The motion is to approve the special use and site plan with conditions and the future plans, the architectural plans. I mean, that's really not going to be based on us because it's going to be inspected with inspectors with no overnight stays.
So it is gated though, correct? You have to get, so you won't know if someone's staying or not.
This is true.
Yeah,
This is
so it's good.
absolutely true.
Yeah.
But I think the rules kind of have to, and plus with the situation being it is industrial and you're looking at, prevention of fire, you don't know if somebody's staying in there, they're at their own risk.
Right.
But if, if your
We're not.
place is on fire, you don't know if it's residential or, you know, somebody's there or not, so.
So you
I
said,
think it's for the safety of the community as well as the ownership.
so you said approve, conditioned on no overnight stays. Did you also incorporate the no offices, no
No,
dwellings?
we'll
I just
incorporate
didn't
that
know
as
if you
well,
had
but the
incorporated
no
that,
offices.
sorry.
No overnights and no office space.
And no dwellings.
Give it a second,
I will second.
roll call vote. Roush,
No.
Knuckle,
Yes.
Woods, yes. Blown,
No.
Shano.
Yes.
Motion passes. Could you read that back to me exactly what was stated?
I have it in shorthand. Do you want the roll call? So I've got the motion in shorthand. That makes sense to me. So approve special use and site plan with the condition of, with future plans for no overnight stays and no office space or dwelling.
Anybody have any other comment? We will close this part of the public hearing. And we will go on to Michael Lemonade, Wind Dogs. And we'd like to open it up to public comment. Yes, ma'am?
My name is Michelle Kirchman. I live at 309 South Linwood Beach Road, and I'm just here in support of this concept to put the extension to the building and to have the drive-through. As somebody who rides her bike there more frequently than I would like to admit, as my punch card attests to, on a day like today when the weather's crappy, I think it would encourage more people to go there, or if it's rainy and it might extend their season, giving more choices to both residents and visitors and fishing people. It just seems like I don't see how this could not be a positive for the community. So I think it would be a great idea for them.
Thank you. Public comment?
I'd like to jump in, Melissa Enfield at 201 West Maple, and I think I'm probably one of the few people here that would be directly impacted if there were like changes to the current traffic and stuff like that, because our house is right up the road. And I just wanted to speak in support of it because, frankly, I grew up with summers by the lake just like the Wilmerings did, yeah, and my husband did too, in places like Aubrey and Tawas, and frankly, going to grab an ice cream at the local stand is an absolute Michigan staple for everybody during the summer. And one of the really wonderful things that I've come to admire about this community is, for a lot of you locals that have been here forever, you all know each other. If somebody says a family name, you all know like where they grew up and exactly who's related to who and everything like that. And that's a really beautiful small town character that is incredibly easily lost. It's what I want my kids to be able to grow up with, but I also know that that kind of community character doesn't get sustained by accident. Having those family-owned and family-run businesses is incredibly valuable, and it's really, really difficult in this day and age to compete with the larger retailers and the larger restaurants, especially like with Bay City sort of encroaching this way as it is, right? So I think it's just really important to be able to do what we can to support the local businesses, to bring in that revenue. I've spoken to people, even in the last week, I talked with one lady who was like, I'm on a diet, so I can't even eat there, but I walk by with my dog every single day, and it's been so refreshing to see a little community hub where people are out there playing lawn games and just hanging out or taking their kids after their bike rides, all of that stuff. And I've got my oldest daughter here, 2 of my kids work there, and they've also got a gaggle of other teenagers. That's incredibly valuable too, because they're there learning customer service, learning teamwork. Cody's been an awesome manager, just kind of mentoring these kids in what it means to earn their first paycheck. And jobs like that are very easily lost if the business can't sustain itself. So I think that this is just something that's really been amazing for the community itself during this summer, and I want to see it keep going, and I want to see them being able to bring in enough revenue to stay open longer and to keep it going year after year so that this community can retain its character even 20, 30 years down the road. All right? Thank you.
Yep. Any other public comment?
My name is Mike Gerard. I live right next door to Lynn Dogs, and whatever they want to do, I mean, it's good for the business, and I have no problem with whatever he wants to do over there. It's his side of the fence, and I have no problem with it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
And obviously, we own, Linwood Storage, and I think it's a great thing for the community, and, I think we're gonna bring a lot more people there, and I think there's a lot more things for people to do in our community, so I think it's a great idea.
Hi, my name's Cody. Good day, y'all. To the Village of Linwood Planning and the Commission and Council. I reside at 209 West Sky Street with my father and my mother, who are the owners of Lynn Dogs, located at 201 West Center Street in Linwood, Michigan. I respectfully request, is this where I respectfully request? I'm speaking on behalf of my dad today.
Sure.
Okay, so I respectfully request your consideration and approval for a 9x9 addition kick-out to our existing building. This addition would provide an enclosed service area while creating the opportunity to offer drive-through service, drive-in curbside service, similar to Sonic Drive-In, or a combination of both, depending on what best fits the property and the village's recommendations. I'm seriously here for the village. I've literally brought in 5 different ice cream plus flavors for the village. Bob's got spumani. She requested orange Dole Whip. Like, I listened to everyone's request, and that's just a couple. The purpose of this addition is to improve the functionality, safety, and accessibility of our business while allowing Lynn Dogs to continue serving the Linwood community throughout the entire year. Lynn Dogs currently holds a valid Bay County Health Department license that permits year-round operation. However, our existing building was originally designed solely with walk-up ordering windows, making it difficult for employees and customers during periods of extreme heat, heavy rain, snow, ice, and just cold conditions. So although the proposed addition measures 9 by 9 foot, it would have a significant impact on the efficiency of our operation. It would create an enclosed workplace that protects employees from the elements. It improves workflow, allows us to provide faster, safer, and more reliable service during every season. In addition, the enclosed service area would allow Lynn Dogs to offer customers multiple convenient service options, whether through a traditional drive-through lane or a drive-in curbside service where employees deliver orders directly to parked vehicles. Customers would have the ability to receive food without leaving their vehicles. These additional services options would especially benefit for families with young children, senior citizens, individuals with mobility limitations or disabilities, customers during inclement weather, residents seeking a quick and convenient dining experience. Providing multiple methods of service would also help reduce congestion around the walk-up windows, improve pedestrian safety, and create a more organized flow of customers on the property. The proposed addition is intentionally modest of size, and is designed to complement the existing building rather than dramatically expand it. Our goal is not to change the character of Lynn Dogs, but to improve the functionality of an already successful, family-oriented business that has become a gathering place within the community. By improving our ability to operate efficiently throughout this year and futures to come, this project will help us continue creating local jobs, supporting nearby businesses, attracting visitors to Linwood, and contributing to the village's local economy. We are committed to investing in our community and providing a welcoming destination that residents and visitors can enjoy years to come. We believe this project represents a thoughtful and responsible improvement that balances business growth with community needs. We respectfully ask for the board's approval of the proposed 9x9 addition and appreciate your time and dedication to continued success of the Village of Linwood. Thank you for your consideration. Respectfully, Toby Wemrick, Manager of Linwood.
Any other public comment?
I have a question.
Yeah.
You're asking tonight for approval of a 9x9 building or the drive?
No, a kick out.
Kick out for
Kick
the
out
drive-through.
off the back of
Just
the
a kick
building.
out so we can have
The back of the building.
Anybody?
Kick out.
The public hearing says that it
Or a drive-through.
drive-through service, which is already in the proposed plans with the MDOT approved.
With turkey roasting.
Isn't it kind of just like at the turkey roast?
It's just like the
It's a
turkey
little
roast,
bump
but
up.
it
No, I
is
understand, there's
Yeah.
a difference in
Oh,
zoning.
It's gonna be a
Yeah,
lot
and
safer
there's
than
also
the
a
turkey
difference
roast
in-
Yeah,
though, because
well,
we're not
but I mean,
gonna have
that's
people
like-
walking
Yeah.
in front of where the
Stop.
parking is. It's gonna be
Yeah.
just a one-way
It's
out and
It
about.
comes out
And
off
Turkey Roost didn't have to
Second.
have any stamp prints once again, did they
Comes
not?
off Second Street.
Because
Okay,
they-
we've got public comment order.
Yeah.
We need to, if there's gonna be more public comments, somebody individually wants to stand up, we're not gonna turn this into something
So I
that's,
didn't mean
it's
to
gonna be a
conversate
bicker.
that. Okay.
I do know that at this point, as far as the planning commission, the ordinances are set the way the ordinances are. We don't control the ordinances. We've put forth a plan for mixed use, which would change some things there, but that has been to the board, it's been tabled. At this point, they are looking it over as a board individually and coming up with their own thoughts, hopefully kicking that back to the planning commission where we can make some adjustments there. But the way the ordinances are today, there's nothing we can do as a planning commission to approve anything to move forward. Just because of the non-conformance, because of the, as far as the law itself, and things are in, process, and we've worked on that, we've put things forth, but we can't do anything to say, okay, we vote to approve this because the ordinances are
It would be a violation of law.
law.
Okay, what are you all saying?
It's gotta move
Yeah,
forward
that's-
with the mixed use.
So the
But we're gonna,
you can fit it.
I'm gonna bring in Troy McCormick, who's our zoning administrator. It's my understanding that he's got some more information that'll basically give to you, that'll show you what maybe can be done, can't be done. I'm not sure what he's got, but would you like to take the floor, Troy?
First of all,
Before, I'm
first
sorry,
of all,
Troy,
my-
before Troy takes the floor, are we still in public comment or have we closed public
Yes.
No, we
comment?
did not, did we?
No,
I'm the zoning
Any more
administrator.
public comment individually? Anyone? Okay, we'll close public comment,
8:06.
8:06.
Thank you.
Did you take the time I opened it?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure did.
All right, we're on C3, and planning commission discussion, but we'd like to bring up Troy, the zoning administrator,
Sorry,
who will
Troy.
give us some insight on why things.
First of all, my department is willing to work with any business, big or small, don't matter who you are, it's all good. But with that said, this is what I've done today, is I took out a few hours of my busy schedule, the Lord knows it's busy, to go through this program to see what we could do for Mr. Hot Dog Guy. Small business is good business, you know that, I know that, so we're all about big business and little ones. But we talk about changing the field of the village of Linwood. The parcel that he sits on is C1. C1 is basically a neighborhood, low impact, walk up, low traffic business is supposed to be in that space. C2 would be more like Wendy's, McDonald's, that is where you find drive-through automobiles. So at C1, you're really supposed to park the car and walk up, basically. This isn't my way, this is the township's way.
Something that was adopted many years ago.
Correct.
Yes,
So
and it's
with that
garbage.
said,
Pretty much garbage.
all I know is what this book says.
It contradicts
So
itself.
with that said, Avery simple things like, first of all, let's talk about how nice this place looks. I mean, you have to give this kid credit, it really does look a lot, it looks fun. If you as a young person with children, you really want to go there. But with that said, there's a few things going on that I noticed. The dumpster situation,
We're getting that
the,
fixed.
the grease bin here, all this stuff is supposed to be enclosed by fencing.
Which we
For
it will
safety
be.
reason of children climbing in could get
The health
hurt.
department is aware of this. I'm
Please,
sorry.
yeah,
Order.
please.
Only one person can talk at a time. If you'd like to stand up.
We're pumped.
It's all about you,
Yeah,
Kevin. Other than that, okay.
Have some
One
decorum.
person at a time, it's all right. From there, his place looks super good, but the problem I'm seeing is that we're using road right away. The parking that he speaks of, we don't really have the parking as we see it today. According to the book, not me, the book, it states that this gentleman is to have at least 5 parking spaces required, and one must be handicapped.
We have that.
And with that said, here is the handicap sign. And I don't see the handicap parking here. All this is to be striped out also, with yellow and blue. But with that said, the handicap parking is right there, and I'm not seeing it. I see tables in the road right away. With that said,
That's not
We're-
true.
I'm not gonna say, come on now. Point of order, one more time, or I'm walking out. My office don't play these games, darling. Period. From there, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So I got a question. Did the zoning administrator drive around to all the businesses in the township and review how they met the book, as he referred to, or?
Are you talking that zone administrator that was just standing here?
That
reading it?
just walked out before we
Well,
could
this
ask
is coming
him
before us, so
questions.
the zoning administrator wanted to check things out to see if they were fell into our ordinance, which
The zoning administrator did not speak on either one of these proposals though, but he came in to speak on this one.
I'm not sure why he did not have opinion on the other two. I understand where he's coming from, and that's our zoning ordinance, and I do know what he's saying as far as the parking and so forth. I think it's already had a great impact. I think the business has had an awesome impact on Linwood. I mean, I hate to see anything get, but the fact remains that we can't change the ordinance as a planning commission.
C1,
And I'd love to just say, okay, we're gonna change this ordinance, let's tell you what you can do. But, I mean, I know Mike has tried to work with a lot of different people trying to figure this out. And hopefully, things move forward with some changes to the village itself as far as the district. And we've tried to do that, we're still working at that, and hopefully we can do something in the future.
but C1 in our stated intended purpose, the intent of this district is to provide for a limited number of existing or potential low-intensity office, businesses, commercial facilities intended to serve diverse local needs. We have no other.
I understand what you're
places.
saying. There is no, as far as a drive-through, under the C1, the village, currently, we have, go ahead and look it up.
It doesn't meet the setbacks
It
either,
doesn't-
that's why you were
correct.
saying
It
it's
doesn't meet the
non-conforming.
setback, so, I mean, it is a non-conforming building, although it is in property. But there's nothing we can do at this point in time as a commission, planning commission, to change that.
Then why did we take his application for it?
Why'd you take my money in the first place?
I tried to, okay, yeah, his money was there a long time ago. I'd like to postpone this until something else is done with our township board, because we're still waiting on that. If it gets kicked back to us, what are gonna be the limitations? We don't know. Hopefully, hopefully they take a good hard look at it and whatever decisions they make, we can make some adjustments to that, send it back to them for approval.
Typically, a mixed-use change towards zoning, which creates a new district, is going to take 6 months to a year. That is normal in a municipality, not 2 months.
As a
That
planning
is-
professional, is that true?
That is, from a legal standpoint, that's the information that we've been given, that's a normal progression. So,
Well, you tell me what we
that
can
said-
do right now, Mr. Bloom,
Well, I'm asking
okay?
if that is
You weren't
normal.
asking, you were
this guy-
basically telling us that we should be able to do something right now. It's a great thing he's got going, I agree. I'd like to see it expand, I'd like to see him be able to maintain it, you know, throughout the year. If it's just a summer thing, you know he's not gonna be, it's gonna be a struggle. I totally agree.
I think,
And I'm
I
hoping
think
things
he,
could move forward.
when I last spoke to Mike, he wanted still to come. I gave him the same information that you're saying tonight. And that, so we had that conversation, but he wanted to get your opinion. And I'm sensing that you're agreeing it's a great thing to do, you know, so if you're moving forward with the 6-month project on doing the rezoning, one of the things that he wants you to do is to look at the drive. It's not really a drive-through exactly, but, you know, it makes it so that he can have parking spaces and that drive in order to have, that's what he's proposing.
Yeah.
There's no parking spaces on the drawing.
Okay,
So,
so,
there's nothing,
Well, we're not
No.
going back into,
The
no,
site,
there's no parking spaces, and that is required by ordinance as well as zoning and.
the site plan is not completed.
and
Well,
it isn't
it's-
completed.
Yeah, it's not
And
an
if-
engineer.
That's-
everything is subject to change, as y'all should know that. But can I propose a different idea instead of a drive-through?
Well, it's gotta be, there's a whole process that has to be
Yes.
followed by law. So, I mean, if you propose it, it's not gonna change anything tonight because there's
No, but I would
publication
like to hear it.
requirements, but just so you're
So-
aware of that.
So instead of a drive-through, how about we just do the 9x9 edition, so then that allows us to have more space for freezer, more space for our staff to cut and cook and prepare, because it's a very small building. And then instead of a drive-through, for the safety of everyone and the C1 low traffic, so where our parking is right now, there is 5 spaces, it's on gravel. Where that black asphalt is that we put out there, we have it fenced off for the safety of the pedestrians while they are ordering. We have tables right next door so they can sit down and relax while they wait for their family to receive their ice cream, because we're very efficient there while we're getting the orders. They're already getting their ice cream cones right out the window. But we do also have a pickup window as well for them for the rest of the order. But in the winter time, I would still like to provide service to the fishermen. And I was proposing that on that asphalt, instead of having tables where we have in the pickup window or the order window, we just add like Sonic. You have the numbers, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You have a drive-in. So it's kind of like bringing the village with like the old town vibe and feel and all that. And you just have the numbers, and we bring the food out to them. We could be on ice skates, for all goodness sakes, or roller skates. Like, it'd be so much fun. Like, all that we're trying to do is bring good energy, good vibes, and nothing but a positive light to this little village of Linwood on the corner of Center Street.
And I don't think anybody's opposed to that. Everybody has been pretty positive about what you have brought so far. The problem is that it has to be compliant, and that's what we're falling back to. Nobody's been negative about what you're trying to do or what you're trying to bring to the community. But, you know, there are certain concerns, setbacks and right-of-ways and other compliance issues, and that's what the job is for us to look at, right?
Mhm.
So, unfortunately, with the plan as submitted, there's some things that would need to be approved upon and better explained, specific to exactly what the plan is for parking, because it's not just having 5 parking spaces, it's how they're oriented, it's ingress, egress, it's landscaping, there's percentages that have to be met, there has to be islands, you have to have them delineated, it has to be very clear with direction. There's a lot of stuff that comes with it, so that's what has to be provided.
It all comes off of Second Street, the drive-through, it's not, it's one street.
Yeah, no, I understand, and I mean, and trust me, there's been time looking at this stuff. We've spent time looking at this, and we've spent time looking at the book.
We appreciate
It
your
just
time.
isn't
Absolutely.
working, so.
But the book
there needs-
contradicts itself every which way, so
But the book is the law.
garbage.
The
It's
book is the
garbage.
law. So
We
that's what we
appreciate
have
your
to go by.
enthusiasm, but again, as a planning commission, until things do change with the ordinance, we can't do anything to move forward to help us.
I think,
And it's been great hearing, your enthusiasm and what you're doing, I think is awesome. The people love it. So-
Mr. Chairman, it is possible for him to ask for a variance like many other people in the township
I was
has
gonna
done.
suggest that, as
So-
far as the 9x9, I don't know about the
That's right,
drive-through.
but if
Yeah.
if what he wanted you to do was to see it, and if you're expressing the joint opinion, that it's a good thing to move forward with, that's what he needs, and that would help him in his request for a variance. So I think that's,
I think that should be a consideration to take it before the ZBA, at least for, they could provide a variant, at least to get maybe the 9x9 going. And if that's gonna help, move things forward and hopefully, some of the ordinances, at least you got a step closer to where you are. And I understand you don't wanna put the money out there when you're, hey, if I'm not gonna get to this point, then why am I gonna put this money out there to begin with? So, I mean, I understand where you're coming from.
So, I got a question. You just all told me about C2 and I'm C1. C2 doesn't have to have stamp drawings is what I just heard.
No.
Well,
These are all-
well, wait a minute.
Hey,
That was
Turkey
conditional.
Roost did not have to have stamp drawings. And they're C2, and you just stressed it. They're in a different area, we're C2.
So we're trying to
But wait a
move
minute,
forward with
they didn't have to have stamp drawings, so whatever happened to that?
Because we're C1.
Stop.
We need to be
No.
C2, you can have stamp drawings, you don't have to have stamp drawings.
Well, these are all stamped drawings.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Was 16.
Dot.
yes,
I'm looking through this book. There's no definition of drive-in. There's definition of drive-through.
Right.
So there is no ordinance on the books that prevents him from doing a drive-in.
If you guys want to
well,
submit
I
that
think that they
after
probably
documents
still
from
need
the
to,
We'll just
we can
do
look
it.
at that.
We will do it, because that's what I.
Whenever
thought
she's
has to
finished.
happen.
So to do a drive-in and use their existing property, we can't do like the ZBA did a couple weeks ago and make a definition out of thin air. So what stops us, or what stops the business from doing a drive-in? Because there is no definition. I just
Well,
went through.
the problem with that is that if something is not allowed, it's disallowed. So just because it doesn't specifically say it, the next thing you do is you go to the nearest definition or the nearest thing and you try to use that. So at this point, I think that he, or all of them, should go to the zoning board of appeals and propose what they intend to do. And I think Matt said it right, that the first phase is the 9x9, and that's probably a pretty easy thing to do, because that's what we tried to do with the village mixed use. This is an existing structure, it's not gonna move, it's been there forever, it's, whatever its setback is set. So for the zoning board of appeals to look at it and say, well, a 9x9 that's going, it's not increasing the nonconformity, so it's just going backwards, and it's not going to be any closer to any setback area. So I think that one is, I don't know, your zoning board of appeals, but that to me would be an easy one to do. Going beyond that, it's going to require a site plan and all the things that Laurie is talking about that are part of the ordinance, where you have to lay it out and show your landscaping and all the rest of it. But I don't think you can get to the drive-in quite yet, but that's my opinion.
That's what I was asking for, was your opinion. Thank you.
I mean, they could try. I mean, they could take that to the zoning board of appeals and say, we want to do this, and it's not specifically disallowed.
I do want to say, a statement was made that the zoning board of appeals came up with the definition out of thin air. These boards and commissions are groups of people who try to put their best opinion forward for the community. And what the ZBA came up with was a consensus of people on that board of what the definition should be. I don't know if we're supposed to go to, Webster to try to find his definition and talk to, we're trying to do what's right for the community. We're trying to come up with definitions that meet, the standard that somebody's not gonna sue us because the definition is not right. So I just wanted to
Well,
make
generally,
that
the
clear.
ZBA doesn't create them. That's your job and then the board's job.
Right.
So that's kind of not quite the way it works.
Well,
So,
their handbook's good for us.
I have a question.
Process, so.
What does Mike or anyone else have to do to get a designated handicap spot? All right, the gentleman that was here with the book said, I don't see no designated handicap spot.
No, there is a sign that says handicap parking space, but there's tables in front of it, therefore nobody can park there. So
Well,
basically.
what I'm
the
saying is,
spot blocked.
I live next to the party
Right
store,
in front.
okay?
In front of the
And
building.
my driveway is next to the party store. And I have people blocking my driveway all the time. And I tried for years to get a no parking sign for it. And what it took was for me to take a truck and back into a gentleman's brand new Cadillac and push it straight across the street. Because he wanted to be somebody, and I wanted to leave. And when I come to push and shove, the cop told me better leave before he got a ticket for blocking my driveway. Now, you can put a sign up that says handicap parking, but you also have to have markings on the pavement. What do they have to do to get those markings on the pavement for that handicap parking spot?
That would be part of their site plan and their
Well,
process.
but
of
I'm just
completing
saying,
the
what do they
parking
have to
lot.
do?
So,
And that
I mean,
wears
that was
away in 2
interesting.
years, you never see it
You're
again.
asking them to jump through hoops.
We're asking them to
Well,
comply
sounds
with
like
zoning.
it.
We're
Cody,
asking
the
them to
sign
comply with
is
zoning.
on Center Street, on the
Yes.
telephone
It's on
pole.
Yes, it's on the
I
main
could
street
put
where they
blue
can
lines
park
if
right
that's
there.
what you want.
It's
You're
right
fine.
You can't.
I believe that's where we, yes.
You pull
I saw
right
that last
in
night,
front.
parked
It's
behind me.
in front is
My driveway's
handicap
marked my
parking.
driveway.
I had a
I need
gentleman
to,
there yesterday in a wheelchair. He was able to come up our ramp, and we have everything yellowed out, so it's caution, safe for the people to see where they're going. We have the ramp right there. He came right up. He ordered with me. He went around the window. He picked up his ice cream. He went down in our backyard is what I call it, so it reminds me of just good old times in our backyard growing up. And he was enjoying his food, and everything was good. Like, he had no problem being in a wheelchair at all.
But when you say C2, didn't have to have a stamp print.
I don't know who
Nobody
said
said
that.
that.
I don't know where that
Well,
came
it happened,
from.
but it happened.
I
That's
don't-
where I keep
That was
going.
before our time.
It doesn't matter. I'm trying to figure out, give me an answer what made him special enough that he did not have to have a stamp print.
They don't give answers.
Are you talking about tonight, or are you talking
We're
about
talking about
years
the
ago?
chicken roost, that,
About the
the
turkey
turkey
roost.
roost that you guys,
I have
None
you
of
did
us
not
were here
approve.
at that time.
What? It doesn't
It
matter.
was COVID, things
Well,
were
we
different.
can go back to
You gotta
20
let
years.
that go. It was COVID years, things were all different back then.
Just-
Wait a
All
minute.
right, we need,
It's good for the goose and not good for the gander.
point of order here.
What?
We need
Because
to
you
move
don't
forward.
like the answer that's gonna be.
It's still
No,
there.
that,
They had a drive-through and they never had to get stamped drawings.
Right.
So when I first started this 3 years ago, I keep asking why I have to have something that a company, because I just heard a minute ago, they're C2, they're C2.
okay,
Wait a minute, I'm
point of order,
C1.
Point of order.
Well, wait a minute, can I first get an answer? I've never had an answer.
We don't have that answer.
For
We don't-
3
We
years.
don't
None
know
of
that
us were
answer.
here at that
It doesn't
time.
matter. I
It
asked
takes
that.
It takes
I've
6
asked the
months. It
question
takes 6
3
months.
years.
It's been 3
3
years.
years.
We're-
I
okay.
still haven't got the
I
right
don't know who
answer.
can give me that answer, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Well, so I can just do what I wanna do, and then you people, that's
I mean, it's
bullshit.
required for any
Okay.
business, any commercial
Could you-
business to have
could you
a
get
certified
Stamp drawing.
stamp. In order
So how
to-
did
in
they
order-
get away without it? They know people. I found out. Okay? No, they know
What do they
people.
know?
Turkey Roast knows
Whether
how
that
to
be
be
the,
guys.
whether that be the case or not, but
So,
tonight,
I
like
just
said,
really
there's
want
nothing
an
we can
answer
do.
that I've asked for 3 years from all,
Could you
everybody.
give us the
Charlie for
answer?
one, I've asked Kathy.
Danny.
And I can't get an answer. If you can give me a straight answer why I have to have something that no one else had to have like
I
that.
understand your frustration,
Well,
because you
then
want
let's
to put
get
that
an
money out
answer.
if it's not gonna be approved anyway. I
Right.
totally
But
understand.
so
where
we
you're
should
coming
go shut them down because they never went through the right channels. You should shut them down.
That's not on us.
Well, then what do we do?
I
I
don't-
get the cops to come here like you guys have done?
I'd like to make a motion.
It's bullshit.
Okay,
I motion we either refund Lindog's
Absolutely.
application fee or we
Yes.
credit it to, if they're gonna go to the ZBA. because I feel he was
I think that should
led
be,
wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
that's the suggestion, you go to the
I still
ZBA
want to answer.
and
I second the bullshit.
second the motion.
I
so
don't
that-
think we have the
Which one do
answer.
we,
I
well, we
think
I
do-
go
want it
ahead and
here.
do what I
Give him
want
the
to do,
choice
and
to
then
refund it
you
or
give
credit
people
it
the
towards
answer that you
CBA.
give me.
would you like your money forwarded to go to the ZBA?
It's up to the wife.
You like the ZBA, would you like your
I'm
money?
just gonna do what I want because that's what they did and they got away with it.
Well, see, that's a big problem too. So-
Yeah, well then I guess that's what happens,
Enforce
ask for forgiveness
I
later.
just
Yeah.
wonder if.
Matt,
we
can I
could-
get a roll call, please? Good money.
Okay, we have a motion on the table, did everybody hear it?
Which,
And then
Cody, which
Kim-
way do you and your
Kim
mom want to go
seconded.
on my motion? Do you guys want the refund for tonight, or do you want to credit it towards a ZBA?
Get the refund because we don't know what.
Okay.
I
So
can't.
my motion is to refund
Thank you.
their application
There's special
fee.
use permit.
And Mr. Roush seconded to that.
Yes.
We'll do a roll call
We'll just
vote.
do what we want because that's what
Sham.
happens at this place. You
Yes.
just do what you want and ask for forgiveness
Okay.
later.
Woods, yes. And Knuckle.
Yes.
And Roush.
Yes.
And Blow.
Yes.
All right, yes.
That will go forward to the next board meeting before that check is issued, because that's how we have to do business as a township. It's gotta go through the whole process.
Again, if you want to, file with the ZBA, but that's going to take,
Yeah.
of course, you
Well,
gotta
it's a different
pay a fee for
process.
that too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could probably work something
So
out.
could we get the answers as to how Turkey Roost was able to get their drive-through? Could we get that answer?
None of us have been
Even though
here,
it don't
so-
matter that you weren't here, we can go back and find out how that happened,
I don't know
correct?
how
I
they
would,
can find that
I
out.
would
It's
say
not
the
if
board and
it's.
who, the supervisor who was ever in charge,
That's
let it
all
go
we're
through.
doing. Yeah.
I don't know what else.
They
They
let
just
that
did
all
it.
go.
Somebody might have pockets on it, we don't know.
That's right. That's what's
Well,
been
it
happening in
doesn't
township for many
matter.
years.
We get an answer.
But I guess I just do it,
Can I get an
and if
answer?
you people have a problem, then I guess you'll bring it up with me later.
They let it
No,
go.
I
You
want
can, you can ask to view the file on the Turkey.
Oh, I look at the files, there's no stamp.
All right, point of order, we need to get this under control, please.
When I came in, there was somebody
I guess maybe some, I should bring the gavel or
came
something.
in, there was somebody before that moved, so I think
He's that big strong
All
voice,
right,
Matt.
that's the
we
first time I
passed
met
that, we're going to, the motion passed, so we're gonna move on. We are going to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second that? That was a
Okay.
motion. If that was a first, I'm a second.
That's, I'm making that motion.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're gonna move on to our added amendment. And I wanted to bring up planning consultant because consulting is, and I know we had a hired zoning administrator, but the money that it's costing the township is astronomical. It's getting crazy. And we need to do something to curb that. And of course, we need to move forward and move on different things. And this goes hand in hand with 7B with the suggestions that I made to the board during the public comment in regard to putting items before. And I said maybe they should tell us what they, as a board, want us to work on. If they want us to work on a certain portion or certain ordinances and try to make amendments to them, come up with it, or certain sections of our ordinances, then so be it, because it's kind of pointless for us to put time and effort and into it and then put something before them and it's going nowhere or being tabled. And so rather than them hold on to it, so working on that and maybe putting in just a draft prior to it going to one of their meetings. We can put a draft forward to the board. The board can look at it, say, okay, move along with it, or give their suggestions, because that's what's going to happen anyway. Anything that goes in front of them, if it gets tabled, then it's going to take another month for them to look at it. It's going to take another, and then it's hopefully come back to us by the next meeting. So we're talking 2 months to get anything done as far as this.
I believe the planning administrator, the professional planning administrator the township hired, stated the priorities.
Whose priority was that, Jeremy? It wasn't the board's. Whose?
The priorities should be where it is costing the township to have ZBA meeting after ZBA meeting.
But that's
How much money do you think that costs to have a ZBA meeting? I understand it shouldn't be ZBA meeting after ZBA meeting. I understand there needs to be changes to our ordinances. But we're putting forward packages that aren't going anywhere because it's a package and of some of the stuff isn't agreed upon. So I understand what you're saying, but there's no point in continuing this trend if we're getting nowhere with it. So why not change the way we're doing it? But, I mean, and we come down to the planning consultant, the Latham itself, as far as paying them to look at everything we do. I understand when it comes to these site plans, we need professionals to look at these site plans. But as far as us working on, I mean, Don is a great tool, excellent tool. I've learned a lot from him, and you know, he's given us a lot of help and direction. But I think that we need to work on things, and basically, if Don continues on the master plan, and we work on ordinances, get Don involved via email or whatever the case. We don't need to have a meeting once a month to work on ordinances with Don there, because the money that's being paid out is I'm told we need to put a curb on it. So
Can I ask,
this is
how
my
much money
suggestion.
have we paid out?
Nearly
I mean-
$50,000 since the January 1st. But that does include Tom being hired upon and taking care of some of the blight and stuff like that. He did a lot of work in a shorter period of time. So I don't know. I haven't looked at the books, and is it worth what we paid out compared to?
So I would like to bring up a couple things. You know, we prepared a lot of things, and they were forwarded. We worked on them. We didn't just draft some crap up and send it up to the board. They were carefully done. You had public hearings, and then they were sent to the board, and the board didn't work on them. For that whole time, until just the last meeting, they didn't even send a representative here, which is by law what they're supposed to do. And so there was no communication. And once they got there, I don't know who's supposed to distribute them, but that was one time that Mr. Campbell said, well, he never got a copy, even though he came to every meeting, he didn't get a copy. So somehow, you know, either you or the clerk needs to hand them things and get it signed that you gave it to them or something of that nature. And I don't understand how it takes 3 months to review a 2-page amendment. You know, there's work that the board should be doing. When you send them something, they should spend the time to look at it. And if they develop questions, then they can send it back with questions, so that then you're just not flying in the dark. And so all of those ordinances, by the way, you said, who told them to do it? We were requested to work to get things straightened out in the township.
We had a meeting in
Wait
the
a minute.
hall. We had a
Wait a
meeting in the
minute.
hall.
Let me
And I could
finish.
not get it out.
Let me finish.
Well,
We
you're
had a
trying to
meeting,
say
we met on these things, and you passed them, and they went there, and they didn't go anywhere. They went nowhere. And so you didn't have a representative, you didn't have anybody to explain it, and they didn't work on it. So both at fault, but there needs to be that communication is completely lacking.
Well, I was asking where the directive had come from. And I asked and pressed about it maybe 3 or 4 times before somebody got upset and yelled out the names of the directive. Well, why are we following the directive of basically one person? And there was 2 names called out. I talked to both the people. And I mean, the one person was like, he was asked his opinion of something, or two items. So it was like, well, why is the board not privy to this information? And why are we working on things that, I don't know, where's, like I said, where is this directive coming from? Why is this utmost important for us to work on? I understand there's things that
Because
need to be.
everything that happens, you should not be having zoning board meetings. You should not be issuing variances. You're running the township by variance. Your ordinance is horrible. So we were trying to do some immediate things. It didn't come from, you know, one particular person or 2 particular people or anything. It was a conclusion of Tom and I, okay, here's all the variances that are going through the township. why. So we tried to address it in the existing ordinance so that you wouldn't be doing that all the time. You're still getting, I asked, I don't know what Troy's been doing, but I think the first things he's done is pole barns. And so that was the first thing that we addressed in those things. You had a problem with that yourself. So we were trying to address things so that they wouldn't be problems, that you would be providing the type of ordinance.
I'm not saying I don't understand, I do understand the situation. It was just I came into this and we were already, I mean, we had some issues with some zoning and some people trying to do things that they shouldn't be doing. I mean, I was kind of put in this chair position at a point where there was a lot of hostility going on with everything.
Yeah, you lost a clerk at that time.
And here we had, this is what we're doing. We're working on this, we're working on this, here's the master plan, and it's like, and some of these people who came out to this board too were like, we're all over the place, and we're trying to have these meetings, and there's different meetings going on, and I understand, we should have put more of a kibosh to some of the dialogue that was going on at times, but and focused on things. But we were all over the place and trying to put through packages as one. There was 7 ordinances in one package.
No, there were clauses to the zoning ordinance.
Anyway,
it was one ordinance.
The point I'm getting
changes.
at is we're spending a lot of time and we're getting nowhere, as you well know.
You did your job. You didn't. It's not that you didn't
I know,
go
it's
anywhere.
frustrating for every single one of us sitting
Absolutely.
here.
No, you did your job.
I think one of the parts that was kind of confusing that I understand was talked about on numerous occasions was when you would bring a proposal forward, it was not a dated draft, that when changes were made, they were not crossed out with the changes in there so you could actually track the changes. So when things were coming forward, there were some questions about, is this the most updated draft? And there was no date, there was no reference point to know. So I think there was some confusion about different people getting documents. Secondly, when we came in here, the master plan was completed. All it needed was to go through the waiting period, and I understand some time had passed, but then it was supposed to be just updated for census data. And here we are in the middle of 2026. That was supposed to be done in 2022. So you were brought on to complete the master plan, and it seems like all this stuff kind of got put in front of the master plan, where the master plan would be a pretty easy progression forward if it is just census data that's being changed. So there's a few things that need to be done in that regard, and it seems like if the focus, I'm still speaking, it seems like if the focus was put on getting the master plan through, which is already 4 years late, that we would at least have the groundwork in place, which should be pretty easy since it was already done. I mean, it was already going into that period, and then you can move forward from there.
You were still doing drafts in 2024, and they didn't correct anything from 2015. They basically carried on and tried. I was told that they wouldn't show up or sent different people. I don't know what the problem was between y'all and Spicer.
And so that was the plan that was moved forward by the elected officials at that time. And it was going into the 63-day window. So
no, it was never approved.
That's why I said it was going into the I was here. It was going into the 63-day window. So my point is, whether or not you think they didn't fix anything is kind of outside of the scope. You're an advisor, and this is our community. So we're the ones that make that decision. The elected officials at that time were moving forward with it. There had been a lot of expense put into it. That needs to be completed rather than pulling on all these other things. And as I talked to you about last month, the contract is for you to do the planning, and anything else needs to be in writing. The only thing that the ZBA voted on was specific to accessory buildings. When that directive was moved forward through the ZBA, it very quickly became a lot of other things that confused the issue and made it very overwhelming. There was a lot of confusion because we didn't know which draft was which. We didn't know when the changes were made. There was a lot of confusion into the process. So for me personally, it seems like having a singular focus of getting that master plan done, and then if you need to have any input on something that comes forward, then those questions can be asked. That makes sense to get the master plan done.
Well, I'm gonna say this. This is your second meeting. Deb and I, Mr. Woods, and Mr. Roosh did bring those concerns to him, and we did work on which draft it was, what was struck through. There was one meeting where his administrative assistant, I think is the proper word to use, was not there, and there was some formatting errors. It happens.
Yeah.
Secondly, none of us 5 on this board are planning professionals. Yes, we are all residents of this township. So him being the planning professional, addressing this book that is garbage, has been said by everybody. It contradicts itself. Matt, you said it. The ZBA says it every meeting. So by addressing those things and working with him, and when Tom was here, having Tom's multiple years of experience in multiple townships was a great asset to us. And then finally, a question, who said we're spending too much money? I've been to every board meeting and I have not heard the
That's
board.
what I'm getting, we need to curb things as far as.
We're spending $80,000 to $100,000 on an attorney to sit here and
In the
babysit.
same time frame, there hasn't been nearly as much spent on lawyers, because, you know, I actually do look at the money. And there hasn't been as much spent
How long did that
on
work in your
lawyers.
bankruptcy, Laura?
We're not here to get into
Oh,
that.
that's
How
what
does
you
that
want
work
to do?
out?
Well, I'm gonna call it out.
I don't think you're gonna start
Why
stalking me.
didn't you tell us that before you ran? We would have never voted you in.
You know what?
Point
That would have
of
been nice
order.
to know what your
Yeah,
background
that's
was.
fine.
We're not gonna sit here and have a bickering match. That is not what
Well,
this
you're
is
not gonna
about.
call it a professional either.
He's a paid advisor of the board,
Yeah,
so yeah,
a
he
professional.
does have to
Very
actually,
good.
Before our
he
next
has to
meeting,
perform the
which-
way he was hired to perform.
Okay, listen, before our next meeting, which is until August 13th, although we have something else to contend with, so if you want to have another special meeting, public hearing separate from our regular meeting, because we're turning into the ZBA, and I understand these things have to be met, you know, these site plans and so forth, but
What's the date on that one?
August 13th.
7/13 is the final date.
So he falls within the time frame to put that on our docket and get public notice of?
And we
July
can do that
13th, that was 3 days ago.
Yeah, that was just brought in. That
No,
hasn't even
but,
been reviewed.
to put it on to our next
August
meeting.
August
Oh,
13th.
And see, we're getting into these things unless you want to have a secondary meeting. Now we're going to have a public meeting and our regular meeting if we want to start working on things. Or I'm hoping that the board will push something back to us prior to our next meeting that we can look at. I didn't want to open up a can of, a new can of worms, if you will, with more amendments to our agendas. Let's get these ones figured out and get them through, or not get them through, or whatever the case.
But you can't get an answer from years ago, so it makes no difference.
Years ago was not part of, we
It
can go
makes a
search,
difference in
but
what we're doing
this
today.
has nothing to do with what you're talking about.
Really? So I
I
don't
mean-
need any kind of stamped prints, is what you're saying. It's good for someone else, I don't need them, is what you're saying.
No.
Matt, are you?
No,
moving on
because
to
it was just
sub-B?
a few years back, so it's good to go.
As far as I know, it's required by any commercial
But that's
business
just,
to have a
yeah, she got it in her
stamp.
new agreement. Yes.
Any commercial site plan has to be a stamped engineer.
I mean, we need to just.
The August meeting, I believe I am.
But when can I get an answer? 3 years waiting,
I think-
every time I come. What board or where do I come to get an answer? Where? From this township?
We are all just citizens.
That's right.
Most of
When I
us,
come
most of us
during
here are
the day,
volunteers.
they
to be
all
out
run.
there.
They will not give me a straight answer. So, I come to these meetings to get a straight answer, I still don't. So I guess you do what you want to do and then wait for what happens, because this is not right. I have to wait for you guys to say something, but yet Turkey Roost went and did their thing without a stamp drawing, and yet don't give me an answer for why. How is that true?
Well, it's,
I wish you could
honestly,
get
it's
the
no
answers you're looking
different
for.
All we need is an answer.
Are we
than
moving
people
on?
building pole barns.
Larger parcel
And doing what they want.
But they had no stamp drawings.
All right, we need to move on.
helpful.
People wanna go home, people have to work in the
Go ahead and
morning.
show it to me then, Laurie. Go ahead and show it to me.
All right, let's move on. Point of order. We need to
Yeah,
move
so
on.
that's-
We're not even following
I
you
agree.
Right,
guys.
but-
I understand where you're coming from.
Where,
your
for years,
frustration.
if you
I-
give up.
I wish we
I'll
could help
close
you
it
as a
tomorrow, wait
board.
for a church to come in. This is bullshit.
You're on 7B?
We are
7A.
volunteers here,
7A.
basically.
Yeah, I volunteer my time, to come up here.